Well, hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Rideshare Mike, and been getting a lot of questions, and I wanted to do a video just on a little Q&A. Okay, just to remind everybody, I've been driving for Uber and Lyft for a little over 5 years. I've used two different vehicles, and I put on a total of about 125,000 miles, and I've done over 10,000 rides. So now I've only done it in Atlanta, Georgia, so I can't speak a whole lot for other parts of the country. Okay, this is from Andy. Thanks for the video. I drive just for Lyft in Austin. I used to drive for Uber, but there was a false report on my background. Sorry to hear that. I'm going to be moving to Denver. Do you have any suggestions to help me make $100,000 a year? I just started driving again and had a Lyft rental, but the rental was $365 a week. I've made on average $1,300 to $1,600 per week. I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day, and that is 6 to 7 days a week. Okay. Well, most likely, I don't have this information in here, but I'm just guessing, most likely that vehicle that this person was paying $365 a week for, most likely it wasn't an SUV, and it probably didn't have leather interior, and that is a lot of money. Now, hopefully, they'll take that money and they'll apply it towards getting into a nicer car, an SUV with leather interior, and they won't be paying nowhere near $365 a week to maintain their own vehicle, 2 or 3 years old. Like my car is a Honda Pilot. Honda Pilot is excellent. It's an SUV. It's an EXL. It's got 3 rows. I can take 8 passengers. Well, 7 passengers plus myself. Put 3 in the back row, 3 in the middle, and 1 up front. And I've even had more in there. So yeah, you take that 360, you take that money that you're making and roll it into a payment, getting into another car, and instead of that $1,300 to $1,600 a week, you might be able to double that. That's if you're doing that on a regular UberX or regular Lyft, or actually it says just for Lyft, then yeah, you'd be a lot more. I mean, it can be good. In all honesty, I'm being totally honest. Let me see here. Sorry to hear that. Thanks for sharing for the info. Okay. Well, I'm going to do just a couple more here, and then I'm going to end this. A lot of it's kind of the same type of thing. When you're doing 10 hours a day, when do you take your breaks? And what time do you start? And what time do you usually end up going home? I just started doing Uber Lyft in Las Vegas, and I would like to know more about the tricks. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Well, glad to hear that. Samuel, appreciate that. Well, 10 hours a day. Yeah, 10 hours a day. I've done a lot of 10-hour days. I've done 12-hour days. I've done longer than 12 hours. It just depends. What I do is I'll go out there, I start working, and as long as I'm getting rides, I'm going to keep working. When you're staying busy doing these rides, it has a way of keeping you awake. Even if you're tired, you still stay awake because you get wired from all the rides. And of course, you got to be real careful always if you're driving at night and so on. But yeah, what time do I take my breaks? I take my breaks when I'm not getting any rides. If I have to use, I don't have any choice in that. I need to pull over to a QT yeah, or a grocery store or something, and I need to do my business. Okay. Otherwise, when it comes to eating, I'll snack while I'm driving. But I don't take breaks. I mean, I'm taking breaks. I can take a break when I'm done and I go home. I take a break. Okay, because I'm out there, one, to serve others, and two, hopefully get a good income. Okay, so I do both. So that's when I'm out. I'm not out there to take breaks. I take breaks when I'm done. Las Vegas, that'd be cool. I've been there many times. Lost a few bucks there, but I enjoyed it. Um, so doing Uber and Lyft in Las Vegas. I'd like to know more about the tricks. Well, I've already covered all the tricks. The vehicle, cleanliness, smells good, friendly, smile. Yeah, another thing is I hear about people who put out snacks for people or bottles of water for people or candy and things like that for people. I don't do that. I don't do that. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I don't do that. So, and I suppose if I did, it might I might get more tips and stuff from it. But I do pretty good on tips, and I've never done that. Now, I have done cold bottles of water. You get the little bottles of water from Costco. You can get like a big case of them, like some 30 or 40 of them in a package, and they're little bottles. Take about 5 or 6 or 7 of them with you. Just ask somebody, ask them if it's hot out, especially during the summer, would you like a cold bottle of water? And I used to do that, and especially during the summer. During the winter, it's not a big deal, but during the summer, it gets pretty warm here in Atlanta, and so I do that. And I have a lot of people take me up on it. I have a lot of people, they bring their own water, so they don't really need mine, but it's still a good gesture to offer that to them. Okay, let me see here. Uber keeps lowering the rates for drivers. That's the main problem. Well, Andre, I understand, um, but here's the thing to keep in mind. Um, if you're doing Uber X or regular Lyft, yeah, people who drive and do regular Uber and regular Lyft are basically a dime a dozen. Excuse me for putting it that way, but um, uh, you want to upgrade your vehicle to be able to do the Comfort and the XL, and those will pay better rates. They pay more when you pick them up. They pay more, and then for every mile and every minute you drive, it's more. So you can easily make twice as much if you can do the Comfort and the XL. Another thing about XL is that I don't just drive people. With XL, I do deliveries. I can do some company had me pick up a big roll of styrofoam or something and bring it over such and such. Well, I've got an SUV, so it just goes right in the back. Hey, no problem. And other times I pick up somebody's got a flat tire in their bike, and they requisition a vehicle. I go pick them up. That's an SUV ride. It's just one person, but I just put the third row down. I just slip a bike in there, real easy. I mean, all kinds of things. People with the flat tire, they need to bring the tire to get it fixed. I don't have any problem doing that. I have a rubber mat in the back of the car, and I have them put the tire on that mat in the back of the car, no problem. I mean, you can't do that with regular type cars. Well, you could. You could do some of those things on a regular car, but with an SUV, no problem whatsoever. I can't tell you how many times that I have driven large screen TVs. Now, you're not going to do that unless you have an SUV. And put that back seat down. I've never had a problem fitting them. Do you know how big these TVs are? 50, 60 inch. Every one of them, they fit in the back. No problem at all. along with all their other stuff they get at Costco or Best Buy or wherever. And we fit it all in there, no problem. I help them get it in, get it out. I don't have any problem. Um, Here's another thing. When you go pick up somebody and they've got a TV, I put myself on location in the app. I'm there and I'm waiting. Okay, so I get paid for wait time while we're loading the bicycle, loading the TV, loading that flat tire, loading whatever. I'm getting paid that wait time while I'm waiting. Also, when I get to the destination and we drop off that tire, or that bike, or that TV, or whatever, I don't finish the ride until we get everything out of the car. All the doors are shut. I'm sitting in my seat. I'm ready to take off, and then I end the ride. Okay, and that's just the way it should be because the ride starts when you get there, and the ride stops when you're able to leave. So I don't. Just another thing. I don't know anybody else if you guys have done that or not. Okay. So let me see. What did I do on that one there? Oh, keeps lowering the rates. Okay, well, yeah, yeah. It's all supply and demand. I'll think. Here's another thing. If there's not very many drivers out there, the rates are going to go up. There's going to be a surge because you got 10 or 15 people requesting a ride. There's only 3 or 4 drivers available. There's going to be a surge, and so all of a sudden now you're getting paid an extra $10 or $20 or more just to pick them up, not including the regular fare and any tip. Okay, so okay, does it still pay good? Okay, we answered that. Still pay good. Okay. Yes, depending on where you are at, and if you know the best times to drive. Yeah, you know the Uber app. In fact, the Uber and Lyft app, they have a on the map on your phone. I've got a large phone, by the way, so I can see it's a Samsung S9 Plus, so it's a little oversized phone, and I can see those hot spots on the map. So I know basically what's going on and where it is. Like if there's a ball game that the Braves are playing, or anything going on downtown, concerts, different things going on around town, you can see that all that activity, so you know where to go. Okay, and if you don't live too far from it, then you can just wait in your home until you see things starting to hop a little bit, and then take off. There's been a lot of times when I'd be sitting at home and I would have the app turned on, and I'd be ready to go. All I have to do is wait for that ride to come to my phone. In the meantime, catching up on other things around the home. So, okay. Can you please make a video on how to file taxes for rideshare drivers? Thanks. Okay, Gina, thanks for your question. Well, I'm not a tax consultant. I use TurboTax. I get the TurboTax. I don't look forward to doing TurboTax because there's a lot involved. But it's like, how do you eat an elephant, right? An elephant, one bite at a time, right? So it is a little bit of an elephant because you got to keep track of stuff. Your miles. Well, you can do miles on your vehicle, or you can do you can itemize everything on your car. Your gas, your oil changes, your maintenance. You can itemize all that. I don't do that. I just do miles. It makes it easier. So I look at the miles at the beginning of the year, the miles at the end of the year. I then come up with the total miles that I drove, and because all the miles I drive in my car are for Uber and Lyft, I take 100%. If you have 90% Uber Lyft and 10% personal, then it's going to ask you that in the TurboTax app. And even Uber and Lyft, I understand, you can even go online and use their app online for free to file your taxes. So I believe both Uber and Lyft offers that. I don't do that though. I buy the app and then I put myself and my wife, and because she works out at home as well. So and we get the TurboTax that's for personal and small business, okay, and we're able to put everything in that. So that's about all I really want to say on that. You can keep track of other expenses besides your miles, like water bottles, or if you give snacks or candy or whatever, you buy that kind of stuff. You want to keep track of that. Those things are deductible. So, but I'd recommend you get a tax consultant or get on the web, which I do. I get on the web. I have a question. I'll go to Google and I'll Google in IRS space and then whatever my question is about taxes. And it'll bring up something about that. I just dig through and that's where I get most of my info. And also from Intuit. Intuit is the company that puts out TurboTax. So there's questions there too. And they even have people that you can call if you have other questions that you can't find. So anyways, and I'm just about done here, I think. See, expenses is very high. Uh, uh, why you don't say that? Okay, well, again, expenses. There's lots of ways to keep your expenses down. I mentioned having a vehicle that burns regular fuel. I do the oil changes myself. Every month, I save about $30 doing that myself. That's above and beyond the cost of the oil and the oil filter. I mean, I do a lot. I do the windshield wiper fluid. I do the car washes myself. I pay $3 for a car wash, high-speed car wash down here on Interstate 85. It's very quick. I drive right through. They have vacuums. I vacuum it. Cost me $3. So I keep my expenses down. And then, of course, you're right. All the money that you're making, you're writing off over 50, 60 cents a mile. I don't know what it's going to be for this last year, for 2021, but it's always the miles are amazing. With your expense right there, it's amazing. So, and that's all write off. You get to write that off. So, so yeah, your expenses don't, and it does. You do take a hit on the miles on your vehicle. When you do Uber and Lyft, here's something just to think about. Okay, this is just me, my recommendation. Get a vehicle that's 2 or 3 years old. Okay, if you can get one that's brand new, that's okay too. But it's better to get one 2 or 3 years old. Um, don't plan on selling that car until after you've got about 150,000 miles on it. Okay, maybe even 200,000 miles on it. Uh, drive it and drive it and drive it. Uh, if you're trading in your car every 1 or 2 years, um, uh, you're going to take a hit. You're not going to come out as good on it. Okay, so drive it for 2 or 300,000 miles, and you're going to end up saving money just by doing that. You want to take care of it. Change the oil often. You change the oil and oil filter often. In a good car, you take good care of it, brakes and maintenance and so on, tires and whatnot. Cars can last you 300,000 miles or longer without needing anything major. So just drive right, take care of it, and in the long run, you'll be saving some good money. Okay, I mean, I bought my Honda brand new, and I've now got 85,000 miles on it in just over 2 years. The car I had before that was an Acura MDX. Again, it was an SUV, leather interior, and I bought that used, okay, which is how I prefer to buy. I prefer to buy used. And I drove that for, oh gosh, quite a while. One of the reasons why I got rid of that is in Atlanta, you cannot pick up, you can drop off at the airport, but the airport, you will not get a return ride coming back out of the airport unless your car is, see, the rule used to be, I think it was 5 years old. So if your car, no, I think it's 6 years old, and you want to check with your airport to see if they have any rules concerning this. But my car, my Acura MDX, it was the last year that I could use it and still do pickups at the airport. I don't want to just drop off at the airport and then have to come back into town empty without a passenger. So, so with a car that's still young enough, I can drop off at the airport, and then the app will give me another ride, having me bring somebody else back into town. Okay, and so that's the reason why I got rid of the MDX. I had a lot of miles on it, had a few years on it, and so it was time. And so I was able to actually trade that in on the Honda Pilot, and so anyways, but you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. I mean, this is a business. This is perhaps your livelihood, and it's not my only income, but for some people it is. And so you have to treat it well. It's like your car. You treat your car well, your car will take care of you. You treat your business well, your business will take care of you. You treat the people well, the people will take care of you. Well, this is the end of this video. I appreciate your time. Hope you found something useful out of it. Please like and share it with others, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks so much. God bless.